Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, and I hope that you all had an amazing Christmas day or whatever it is that you got up to on the 25th. I was meant to put this out on Christmas Day, but I decided not to, and so we're going to be pushing this out for December 26th, aka today, aka Boxing Day if you're in Canada and the UK and maybe elsewhere. And this is going to be the event video for the Frosty Family Gathering, which is going to tell you exactly how much you need to do, especially on the Blitz side of things, in order to get as many Nightcrawler shards as possible. And I want to say that this event is going to be probably the most important event that's going to be upcoming for the next little while, and has been, because Nightcrawler is really important. He's very crucial, and it's super important that you get as many shards as possible for him. And if you follow this video, you're going to know exactly what to do. And also, we have the ISO 8 Spending Alliance event that we're going to cover really quick in the beginning. So if you're ready to go, everybody, then let's boil this down. Now, very quickly, we're going to do a quick recap of what's left over for the month long of December. We only have 1 week of events left, which is Icy Extravaganza, which is after the Nightcrawler event. I don't think that's going to be a very tough event. Like, I think it's not for a character. I think it's just for stuff, I guess you could say. And in terms of where we're at now, there's been some difficult currency to get. Namely, in the Sinister Snowstorm, there's been 30,000 currency that's hard to get. It was like towards the bottom, which nobody really got except for whales. And this Arctic Assault, which is what we're doing for the ISO 8 energy, it's 28,000, but then it's also 42,000 extra at the very bottom. So I think this is designed maybe for, whales to get further ahead in the leaderboard for this event, the month-long event. But so far, we're at 880,000. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to have that right now. It just means if you get everything that's available, you'll have 880K. Now, in terms of what's missing, of course, we have these two events, which is the Ice Extravaganza and the Quick Rumble. There's also the final Free Claim Friday. Now, you do probably want to subtract 72K because those are very difficult and that's included. So we're kind of at a surplus of like 8K. So it would be 8K plus these two events, plus the free claim. And I'm going to wager it might be somewhere around 80,000. It might end up being around 80,000 surplus, maybe 100,000, something like that. So if you didn't hit everything, then no worries. You probably will still get the month long, but you do need to make sure that you do as much as possible. So before we get to the blitzing stuff, just want to cover this really quickly. So Arctic Assault is a 6-day event. Oops. Or let's zoom in some more. 6-day event that's ISO 8 energy spending, allied orb fragments, and alliance donations. 900,000, that's the cap. You're not getting there. Don't worry about it. But there's 70,000 event currency. Again, I told you that the 42,000 at the bottom, probably not happening. That's definitely not happening for us. We get 1 point for ISO 8 energies, 1 point for each allied orb fragment, and 2 points per alliance credit. Now, your total daily ISO 8 energy is about 1,130. You can see all of where it comes from over here. That means that you're getting a total of 27,000 points per day across a 24-man full alliance. Over 6 days, that's about 162,000 points, give or take. So that's a good chunk of where you're going to get it, but that's not all. So I've made a couple assumptions here, and this may or may not happen. So I assumed that we were getting 1,000 allied orb fragments daily from the web claim. That's going to be 24,000 fragments per day, and over 6 days, that's going to be 144,000. Why 1K? Some of the previous events have been 1K. I admit that sometimes it's 500, sometimes it's 1,000. In one time, it was actually 2,000. But in terms of where I think they want us to be at the end of the milestone, this is kind of what I'm projecting. But, as always, this will be posted on the day of once I actually know the free claim, and I can add that in. So this is the orb fragments are specifically free claim. We're not getting it from the boxes now because we're getting points through the alliance credits, which you can find here. Now, if you do all 5 of the boxes, you can get anywhere from 560 to 710 per day. It depends on if you're doing the 50 or 100 core donations. To get to the final box, the alliance box, you need to have 12 people donating 50 cores and 6 people donating 100 cores. Because I don't know, what people are donating necessarily, I'm going to use the top end of 710. So we're going to use that as a value for this, and we're going to assume that you're getting that daily. Now, this is the alliance figure over 6 days. I've just done it really quickly. And that's 102,000 points that if you basically get all your boxes and everyone collects, that's 102,000 points for the alliance over 6 days. So that leaves you a grand total of, adding those 3 numbers up together, 409,000. Where does that get you on the milestone, you might wonder? Well, I think I actually fixed it this time. There we go. I moved myself to the top right here. So yes, you too. Just before milestone 15. Now, if the free claim is a little bit more generous than I thought, then you may in fact get milestone 15. Otherwise, you're stuck at milestone 14. You're still getting all of the spectacular snowflakes though, so that shouldn't be much of a problem. You might pick up a little bit of blue 5 and blue 4 ion stuff here. But aside from that, don't expect any of this other stuff down below. It's, the mega gold orb fragment, not happening. That's for whales. So don't think that you're getting that because you're not. So just wanted to kind of point that out before we get to the Nightcrawler stuff. So let's jump back to the spreadsheet. Let's scroll up to the top. This one's a little bit lengthy. So the Frosty Family Gathering. This is a 7-day event. This is Blitz battles, power cores, and extra points for Superior 6. Now, for the purposes of this, I actually have not included how many cores to spend because it's not going to make a significant difference. Like, it's really not. Like, if you were to do 200 cores a day, it's not going to make a difference on a milestone. So the only reason why I would say to spend any cores at all would be that if you want to get some additional shards for some characters. Now, this is something that I really want to point out really quickly before we dive deeper into the math, because we did get a message the other day about that this orb, the 675 core orb for Nightcrawler, being available for 2 more days. Now, this will be 1 full 24 hours into the event. So if you were thinking about it at all, if you want to get more shards for Nightcrawler, if you're not happy with the amount of shards that's expected by the end of this event, then you can go and purchase more of Nightcrawler's orbs right there. The 675 Bamf orb, you can go buy that now during the event as well. I forget which day, but Forge will become available as well. So if you want to buy cores orbs for Forge, I'm not going to do that. But if you want to do that, then those are available to you. So you could either buy Nightcrawler orbs or Forge orbs if you want to push your points along a little bit further and you have cores to spend and you want to spend it on the Extreme X-Men. So the event milestone points, 165,000. That's kind of where we need to go in order to get all of the event stuff. The total event currency up for grabs is 63,000 plus the event item, of course. Total Nightcrawler shards is 125. Now, only about 85 to 100 of those are what I would deem reasonable, plus the leaderboard. So there is going to be a leaderboard attached to that, and I want to kind of take a look at that really quickly for you guys. So in terms of where you will get to this, I'll tell you right now, there's a big one down here. These 40, not happening, so that it would be 140, but these 40 shards are not happening. And the ranking payouts are probably going to be pretty, what's the word? It's going to be competitive. That's what I was looking for, because obviously there's diamonds for Nightcrawler for the whales, and that's going to be very good for them. That being said, for the majority of us, we're not getting that, right? Even 1 to 3%, there's some 6 reds, which is fine. I have a 7 red because I pulled an Elite 7, and that's not hard to do, but you're not getting any diamonds. You will probably, if you push really hard and you blitz a lot, you could probably get the 4 to 10%. Maybe you can get the 1 to 3%. That could still be spending territory. I'm not sure. So you could look at like 40 to 45 extra shards on top of what you're going to get from the event itself. So you're not going to get a 4-star. If you want to get a 4-star, which is 180 shards, you probably would have had to, get a 2-star unlock prior to this, or be willing to open some of those orbs now and kind of add what you'll get from the event, which will get you to a 4-star, if that's what you want to do. Right? Like there could be a pass coming after his event sometime. I'm not sure. I haven't looked into the data mines this time around, so I don't know if there's a Nightcrawler pass coming soon. Let me know in the comments down below if there is. But, Nightcrawler is such an important character for the Extreme X-Men. I'm actually struggling a little bit with my 2-star Nightcrawler in terms of like flipping debuffs, flipping buffs on his basic attack in the raids and things like that. So obviously a bigger stars equals more focus. And he does have the highest hit points in the game, almost the highest hit points in the game. He's the 3rd highest if you watch my stats video after Super Skrull and Apocalypse. So he's very impressive stats-wise, and you do want to get him as high as possible star-wise. Free claim, we don't really know what that's going to be. The web milestone points is going to be 38,000 points. Now that's 30,000 direct milestone points and 4,000 orb fragments, which is times 2 because they're worth 2 points. You need 25,000 Blitz credits to get all this. Now, this web milestone shouldn't be that difficult because if you're blitzing normally anyways, you should get the Blitz credits. Like if you're blitzing to get the limits here, you're gonna get enough Blitz credits. So I didn't really bother to put any math on that because you should have no problems doing that. Now you're gonna get 125,000 Blitz battle limit points. You get 75 per blitz battle, but you also get 25. So you get actually 100 points per blitz battle until you hit this cap from the 75 points, if that makes sense. After you hit the limits, you're only going to get 25. And I'll kind of mention this down below. There's some math there. You do get, like I said, 2 points per extreme orb fragment. I don't know how many we're going to get of these. There's 2 of these orbs in the web milestone. Beyond that, I don't know. There could be in the free claim, so we'll have to see whether or not we get any more of these. I think these are like offer orbs and things as well, so I don't know if we're actually collecting very many of these orbs. Now, you get 4 points per power core, but honestly, it's not going to be worth a whole lot, so I haven't really included it in this video. Blitz battle with Superior 6. I have included this because I think this should be more than reasonable. 35,000 points, but this is just 14 Blitz team battles with a full Superior 6 team. So even if you don't have Green Goblin Classic, if you have Spider Slayer, a Lizard, Craven, a Doc Ock, that's 4 of them, then you might have to do like 16 to compensate for Green Goblin, but over the course of 7 days, that should be no problem. So we're adding this 35,000. As far as Craven, being a Craven Slayer, Spider Slayer, and Lizard at 6 and 7 star, I'm not adding that in. If you have them, great, but most people won't. And then there's a Blitz battle additional points for Green Goblin Classic at 5, 6, and 7 star. Haven't added that in either. Some people like myself do have 5 star. Some people might have 6 star Green Goblin. So that's great. You're going to get some additional points. It's probably not going to make a huge difference in terms of what milestone you're going to get to. And we'll take a look at that down below once we get towards the end. So how many Blitz battles do you need to do to hit that limit? 1,667. What does that mean? Well, that's 238 Blitz battles per day. And that's 4.4 or 4 to 5 Blitz rotations per day. That's basically what you're looking at if you have all 54 teams. Maybe there's 55. I don't know if you bought characters, but I think I have 54 saved Blitz teams. So that's what we're using. I think that's the total number of teams. Let me know in the comments down below. So total points for the above, including the uncapped. If you do basically the 1,667 Blitz battles, you're going to get 166,000 points. And that's more than enough for actually, that just clears the event item milestone points. If you want to go further, because you can go beyond that, of course. And this doesn't include actually the free claim. It doesn't include the web milestone points as well. Or any Sinister 6 additional points. Now, the max blitzing points, if you want to max 8 rotations, because keep in mind, it is 1 hour blitz rotations. Hopefully, fingers crossed that this doesn't revert after January 1st, because they did say till the end of the year. I'm hoping this is more like permanent until they decide what they're going to do about that. But for this event, I hope that it's 1 hour for the whole thing. You should be able to get anywhere to 200,000 points if you do 8 rotations a day. It's not a huge difference, though, between the 166 and 200,000. In terms of the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot. So the total reasonable points, if you just do the limit score blitzing, is 240,000. This does not include the free claim, but it does include the web milestone points and the additional 35,000 from the Superior 6 points. So that's about milestone 16-ish. So it's not quite 17. If you do max blitzing, like I said, there's only about 33,000 points difference between max blitzing and not max blitzing, but that does give you milestone 17. So what is milestone 17? Well, let's take a look. So what are you getting if you do want to max blitz? You get this, which actually probably is worth doing. Honestly, if you can do this, I would. 750 teal focus and health catalyst. That's a lot. I mean, there's 25 Nightcrawler shards. Of course, that's good. But these catalysts are really important. The 900 splice sections, you might need them. It's the icing on the cake there. But, all this stuff is pretty good. Milestone 16, Milestone 17, a lot better. The catalysts are a lot better in 17 than 16. In terms of what you're missing out, well, here you go. G18 minis, of course, you're not getting out because they're whale stones, and 40 extra shards for Nightcrawler and these diamond orbs, which you're also not getting. So what are the notes for this? Points do not include extra Superior 6 points. So if you have 6, 7 star, great, congratulations. It also doesn't include 5+ star of Green Goblin Classic. Milestone 18, 19 may be possible with a combination of higher star, Superior 6, and core spending. But, I don't think this is like a free-to-play really kind of expectation. The above points reflect a typical free-to-play upper cap of what might be possible. And like I said, I did not include power core spending at this time. If you do, you might get a little bit more, but you're not going to get a lot. Just for example, if you were to do 200 cores daily for 7 days, that's 1,400 cores, 1,400 points times 4, 5,600 points. It's not going to make a huge deal when it comes to trying to get to additional milestones when you see the huge gap in between each of them, like 17 to 18 is like 30,000, 18 to 19, 60,000, etc., etc. You're not going to make a huge difference by spending power cores unless you're blowing a crap ton of cores, like in the realm of 10,000 on Nightcrawler or Forge Orbs. That's the only place where that might get you an extra milestone. Don't think it's really that worth it, though, if you ask me. So that's going to be the end of the math. Like I said, Nightcrawler is such an important character, so try to do as best as you can. Try to get to milestone 18 if you can. Or sorry, not 18. Try to get to milestone 17 if you can. But otherwise, do the best you can, and we'll pick up hopefully a 4-star if you're willing to spend a little bit, or you had already spent some cores on Nightcrawler in Orbs back like a week or so ago when I mentioned that you should. Anyways, that's the end of the video, everyone. I hope you all had some great holidays, and of course, enjoy the rest of your holidays still going forward if you are. And until next time, everybody, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you all later. Boilon signing out.